Do you still not buy the international data when you travel?
No.
Still no. So you got no service on your phone.
I got Wi-Fi in the hotel.
But that's it.
That's it.
Cheap as hell, bro. Goodness gracious. When you think about accolades, right? Four-time NBA champ, four times Finals MVP, 20-plus All-Stars, all-time leading scorer. I can rest well at night knowing that you're ass at golf. The fact that you suck at golf right now makes me feel like, all right, he is actually.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Oh, yeah. I'm on my way though. I'm on my way though. Yeah, I'm on my way.
I've seen improvement in like 3 clips worth. What is it about golf, man, that you rock with it so much?
The NBA just sent out an emergency notice about LeBron James, and what it says has the entire basketball world in shock. Fans are scrambling to make sense of it, calling it one of the most unexpected moves the league has made in years. This isn't about a fine, a suspension, or even a trade rumor. This is something completely different, something that could change how we see LeBron's legacy forever. What did the NBA discover? Why now, in 2025, when LeBron's already cemented himself as one of the greatest? And why are some insiders saying this could shake the foundation of the league itself? Stick around, because what we're about to uncover will leave you speechless. It started quietly, too quietly for something this big. In early February 2025, whispers began circulating among NBA insiders about an internal memo. Something urgent, something about LeBron James. At first, most people brushed it off. LeBron's been in the league for over a decade. He's survived every scandal, every controversy, every attempt to tear him down. What could possibly be left? But this wasn't like the other times. Sources close to the league office confirmed that a notice had been issued, not to the public, not to the media, but to a select group of team executives, league officials, and security personnel. The language? Emergency level. The subject? LeBron James. Within hours, social media exploded. Fans who caught wind of the memo started theorizing. Was LeBron being investigated? Was there a secret injury the league was covering up? Had he violated some obscure contract clause? The rumors ranged from reasonable to absolutely wild. Some even speculated that LeBron was being forced into early retirement due to health concerns the public didn't know about. But here's the thing. Nobody had the full story. Not the fans, not the media, not even some of the players. And that silence? It made everything worse. LeBron, at 40 years old, is still putting up numbers that would make players half his age jealous. He's averaging close to a near triple-double in 2025, leading his team in multiple statistical categories and showing no signs of slowing down. So why would the NBA suddenly issue an emergency notice about him? The confusion was real, the theories were endless, and the truth? Well, it was about to get even stranger. Let's rewind a bit, because to understand what happened, you need to know what led up to it. In late January 2025, the NBA's Analytics and Security Division noticed something unusual. They monitor a lot of things most fans don't think about: player biometrics, performance data, even digital footprints tied to league-related activities. It's all part of keeping the game fair, keeping players safe, and protecting the integrity of the sport. But during a routine audit, red flags started popping up, specifically red flags connected to LeBron James. At first, most people brushed it off. LeBron's been in the league for over a decade. He's survived every scandal, every controversy, every attempt to tear him down. What could possibly be left? But this wasn't like the other times. Sources close to the league office confirmed that a notice had been issued, not to the public, not to the media, but to a select group of team executives, league officials, and security personnel. The language? Emergency level. The subject? LeBron James. Within hours, social media exploded. Fans who caught wind of the memo started theorizing. Was LeBron being investigated? Was there a secret injury the league was covering up? Had he violated some obscure contract clause? The rumors ranged from reasonable to absolutely wild. Some even speculated that LeBron was being forced into early retirement due to health concerns the public didn't know about. But here's the thing. Nobody had the full story. Not the fans, not the media, not even some of the players. And that silence? It made everything worse.
All right, here's where everything flips. The emergency notice wasn't about punishing LeBron. It wasn't about fines, suspensions, or investigations into his conduct. It was about protecting him. Once the NBA's security team traced the digital intrusion, they discovered something alarming. Multiple entities, some foreign, some domestic, had been systematically attempting to harvest LeBron's biometric data, game footage, and even personal communication metadata. The goal? To build highly accurate predictive models of his performance, which could then be sold to underground betting operations. But it didn't stop there. Evidence suggested that some groups were also working on creating deepfake content using LeBron's likeness. Imagine a video of LeBron appearing to endorse a shady cryptocurrency, or a fake audio clip of him making inflammatory political statements. In today's world, that kind of content can go viral in minutes, and by the time it's debunked, the damage is done. The NBA realized they were dealing with something unprecedented. This wasn't just a threat to LeBron, it was a threat to the entire structure of how modern sports operate. If criminals could exploit the most famous player in the league, what's stopping them from doing it to others? So, the league took action. They tightened digital security protocols, worked with federal cybercrime units, and put protective measures in place specifically for LeBron. The emergency notice was essentially a lockdown order, restricting access to his data, monitoring all external attempts to gather information on him, and ensuring that any suspicious activity was flagged immediately. When the truth finally started leaking to the media, the reaction was complicated. Some fans felt relieved. Oh, so LeBron didn't do anything wrong. He's actually the victim here. Others were angry. Why didn't the NBA tell us sooner? Why all this secrecy? And then there were those who saw the bigger picture. This was a wake-up call. If LeBron James, one of the most protected and scrutinized athletes on the planet, could be targeted like this, then no player is truly safe. LeBron himself remained relatively quiet in the days following the revelation. Sources close to him said he was frustrated, not at the NBA, but at the fact that even at this stage of his career, he couldn't escape being the center of controversy. He didn't ask for this. He didn't do anything to deserve it. But because he's LeBron, because he's the face of the league, he became a target. One insider was quoted saying, "LeBron's tired of being the story. He just wants to play ball." But the reality is, as long as he's in the league, he's always going to be the story. And that's the paradox of being LeBron James in 2025. You're the king, but you're also the most vulnerable piece on the board. Once the full story broke, social media went into overdrive. Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, every platform was flooded with reactions. Some fans apologized for jumping to conclusions. I really thought LeBron was in trouble. Turns out he's the one being attacked. Others praised the NBA for taking swift action. This is what real leadership looks like. Protect the players, protect the game. But not everyone was satisfied. Critics argued that the league's handling of the situation was sloppy. Why the cryptic emergency notice? Why not just come out and say, we're protecting LeBron from a cyber attack? The secrecy, they claimed, only made things worse. It fed into conspiracy theories, created unnecessary panic, and once again put LeBron in the crosshairs of public scrutiny. Some media personalities weighed in, calling this a turning point for how the NBA handles digital threats. One analyst said, "This isn't just about LeBron. This is about the future of sports. We're entering an era where a player's biggest threat might not come from an opponent on the court. It could come from someone halfway around the world with a laptop." Former players also chimed in. A few voiced their support for LeBron, saying they'd experienced similar invasions of privacy, but never on this scale. Others questioned whether the league is doing enough to protect all players, not just the superstars. One retired player said, "LeBron gets an emergency notice, but what about the rookies? What about the guys who don't have the same security resources? Are they just supposed to fend for themselves?" It's a fair question, and it's one the NBA is going to have to answer sooner rather than later. As for LeBron, he finally addressed the situation in a brief statement in mid-February 2025. He thanked the league for their support, acknowledged the seriousness of the threat, and made it clear that his focus remains on basketball. He said, "I've dealt with a lot in my career, but I've never let anything take me off my game. This won't either." Vintage LeBron. Calm, composed, unbothered. But behind the scenes, People close to him say he's more rattled than he's letting on. It's one thing to deal with critics, haters, and media pressure. It's another thing entirely to know that sophisticated criminal networks are actively trying to exploit you. And yet, LeBron keeps showing up, night after night, game after game, putting up MVP-level numbers at an age when most players are long retired. If anything, this whole situation has only reinforced what we already knew. LeBron James is built different. So, where do we go from here? The NBA's emergency notice about LeBron James isn't just a one-off incident. It's a preview of the challenges the league and all professional sports are going to face in the coming years. We live in a world where technology is advancing faster than regulations can keep up. Deepfakes, biometric data harvesting, AI-generated content, these aren't science fiction anymore. They're real, they're happening, and they're being used by people with very bad intentions. For the NBA, this was a wake-up call. They've already started implementing stricter data protection policies, not just for LeBron, but for all players. They're working with cybersecurity firms, collaborating with law enforcement, and exploring legal avenues to prosecute anyone caught attempting to exploit player information. But here's the uncomfortable truth. No system is foolproof. As long as there's money to be made, there will be people trying to find ways to game the system. And as long as LeBron James is the most famous basketball player on the planet, he's going to be a target. That's the price of greatness. That's the burden of being an icon. LeBron's legacy has always been about breaking barriers. He was the chosen one before he even played a single NBA game. He delivered championships to Cleveland, Miami, and Los Angeles. He's spoken out on social issues, built schools, and changed the way we think about athlete activism. And now, in 2025, he's at the center of a new kind of battle, one that's fought not on the court, but in the digital shadows. Will this incident define his final years in the league? Probably not. LeBron's too big, too accomplished, too legendary for one controversy to overshadow everything he's done. But it does add another layer to his story, another chapter in a career that's been anything but ordinary. And honestly, that's what makes LeBron LeBron. He doesn't get the easy narratives. He doesn't get the simple storylines. Everything about his career has been complicated, debated, and dissected. Why would his 22nd season be any different? The NBA sent out an emergency notice about LeBron James. Fans couldn't believe it. And now that we know the truth, we're left with more questions than answers. How safe are our favorite players? How far will the league go to protect them? And in an age where technology can be weaponized, is anyone truly untouchable? So, the emergency notice wasn't about punishing LeBron, it was about protecting him. In a world where technology, fame, and basketball collide, even legends aren't safe. The NBA stepped in before things got out of hand. But it raises a bigger question. How far will the league go to shield its biggest stars? And should they? Do you think the NBA did the right thing by keeping this quiet at first? Or should they have been transparent from the start? Drop your thoughts below. Let's debate. If this story blew your mind, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell so you never miss the next breakdown. LeBron's career is far from over, and neither are the headlines. See you in the next one.